I'm still in a total for a call, so. Yeah. I was better than I was. I was sitting with.
All right, folks, it's going live, so unless this falls off, then we won't be live anymore. Come on. Yeah.
At 6:05, we make it all nominated committee. The order, all those please.
Billy Gwynn.
Here.
Brad Johnson.
Here.
Ginger Holden.
Here.
Todd Smith.
Here.
Leslie Hughes.
Here.
Jerry Stout.
Here.
Dr. Ray Frank.
Present.
Danny Gill.
Here. Look over your agenda. Everybody voted for the all agenda. Move for approval. Second. Everybody else, second the school. Part of the discussion. Yes, Chad.
Gwynn.
Yes.
Brad Johnson.
Yes.
Ginger Holden.
Yes.
Todd Smith.
Yes.
Leslie Hughes.
Yes.
Jerry Stout.
Yes.
Dr. Ray Frank. Danny Gill.
Yes. Got the minutes from our meeting May 13, 2024. Take a few minutes to look over those. I have motion to approve minutes. So moved, Mr. Chair. Mr. Johnson. Second. Second, Larry Dunn. Any final discussion? Yeah.
Billy Gwynn. Brad Johnson.
Yes.
Ginger Holden. Todd Smith.
Yes.
Leslie Hughes. Jerry Stout.
Yes.
Dr. Ray Frank. Danny Gill.
Yes. Other comments? Comments? Any none, all business? There isn't any old business, new business? I'm the chair. For vote for nomination.
I want to make any deal to take.
I will say that.
In the nominations,
Move that we elect you by acclamation.
motion by Dunn, vote by acclamation. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Vice chair. Board open for nomination for vice chair. Nomination on board policy.
Move that we let Commissioner Smith by acclamation.
Motion by Dunn, vote by acclamation. Austin, vice chair. Further discussion? Voting on the saying aye. Aye. All opposed? secretary. Floor is open for nomination for secretary. Secretary.
That's you.
All right, motion on the floor by Mr. Quinn for Leslie Hughes to be secretary. Any other nominations?
Move that Commissioner Hughes be elected by acclamation.
All done. Leslie Hughes, on secretary. All in favor, would you let it be known by saying aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Passed. Thank you. Any commissioner comments? Seeing none, I'll have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Second. Second by Mr. Stroud.
Okay, it's 6:12, we'll call the budget meeting to order. We'll work off the roll, nominating committee. We need to look at the agenda, review and approve it. I have 3 additional items. Replace these under new business. Number I will be Highway Department Caterpillar Grader. Number J will be Highway Department copier. And item K will be clerical position for the finance department.
Okay, you people.
K will be a clerical position for the finance department. Any other additions? The floor is open to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
Mr. Hughes makes the motion with the amended agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Deal. To a voice vote, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say. Okay, unanimous, thank you. Item number 4 is election of chairman. Floor is open for nominations.
I'll nominate Polly as chairman.
Others?
Mr. Chairman, nomination ceased and elected by acclamation.
Commissioner Johnson makes the motion to cease nominations and elect by acclamation. Is there a second? Commissioner Gwynn makes the second. Chad, I'll let you call the roll since it's officer positions.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson. Here. Danny Deal,
Yes.
Jennifer Holden, Todd Smith,
Yeah.
Leslie Hughes, Gary Stout,
Yes.
Dr. Ray Governor.
Thank you for your confidence. Try to represent you well. Item number 5, election of vice chair. Floor is now open. I nominate Julie Gwynn. Commissioner Gwynn has been nominated. Others?
I make a motion that to nomination and I'll let you move in the acclamation.
Commissioner Holden makes the motion to cease nominations and elect by acclamation. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Deal. Chad, I'll let you call the roll, please.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson. Here. Danny Deal,
Yes.
Jennifer Holden, Todd Smith,
Yeah.
Leslie Hughes, Gary Stout,
Yes.
Dr. Ray Governor.
Thank you all. No public is in attendance that I see. So we'll Not open the floor for any public comment. Review and approval of the budget committee meeting minutes of September 9, 2024. You'll find those in the packet on pages 3 through 8. I'll into effect. Commissioner Smith makes the motion, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Field. Any additions or edits? I only found one, I think it's just the wording thing. It's on page 4. Of the packet. It's under Commissioner Training Supplement Resolution. And if you look at the third sentence from the bottom, it says that certificates should be submitted to the committee chair for approval. I would recommend that we say submitted to the chair of Carter County Board of Commissioners. So we make it clear. Other edits? Hearing none, Jeff, will call roll, please.
Quinn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson.
Yes.
Danny Hills,
Yes.
Peter Holden, Bob Smith,
Yes.
Leslie Hughes,
Sorry.
Gary Stout, Dr. Rico.
Thank you. Under old business, we have a request funds for Parks and Recreation, 4 invoices there. You'll find them on pages 9 to 12. First one is, remember, is Appalachian Traveling Enthusiast. In relationship to Green Bridge Landing, the September 2024 weekly mowing maintenance. The unit price is $75 for an amount of $300 total. So I'll accept a motion to approve that invoice. This will come out of, I assume, their fund balance in the right here.
The board makes some contract that in the budget, correct?
That will come out of their fund. We're at Parks and Rec budget.
And I wanted to say,
Is there any motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Commissioner Holden makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Stout. All is none, Chad. Call for vote.
Julie Quinn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson.
Yes.
Danny Hills,
Yes.
Peter Holden, Bob Smith,
Yes.
Leslie Hughes,
Yes.
Gary Stout,
Yes.
Dr. Rico.
Second invoice, Mountain Recreation Foundation, in the amount of $84. These are for portable restroom construction. And the date on the invoice is May 15, 2024.
The two different invoices for the same dates.
The two of them.
Yeah, you got a 54 and a 50, the two invoice numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
One is- And then also have that parts in there.
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion to approve.
Mr. Owen makes the motion to approve the $84 for mountain recreation renovation. You can do it next.
I didn't know if you were doing it one or two at the same time.
Well, since they both have a different invoice number, different jobs, jobs,
Okay.
I took it that we need to approve them separately.
So I'm going to motion for invoice number 2475.
So no. Chad, when you're ready, sir.
Julie Wynn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson.
Yes.
Danny Hill,
Yes.
Gina Holt,
Yes.
Todd Smith,
Yes.
Leslie Hughes,
Yes.
Gary Stout,
Yes.
Dr. Rico.
Third invoice is also for portable restroom. Out of $84, this is for invoice number 24755.
Motion approved.
Mr. Owen makes the motion, Mr. Hughes the second. Any other comments, questions? You ready?
Julie Wynn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson.
Yes.
Danny Hill,
Yes.
Gina Holt, Todd Smith,
Yes.
Leslie Hughes, Gary Stout,
Yes.
Dr. Rico.
All right, page 12 is the fourth invoice in the amount of $500. And this is an annual fee that is paid in the amount of $500. It's also been approved by the mayor. Motion to approve. Commissioner Smith makes the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Any questions? Concerns? Chad, when you're ready.
Julie Wynn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson,
Yes.
Danny Hill,
Yes.
Gina Holt, Todd Smith,
Yes.
Leslie Hughes,
Yes.
Gary Stout,
Yes.
Dr. Rico.
Okay, now under new business, item number 9. First, 9A update, mayor on state funding.
I'll just real quick, it's still in the works, the government has to, and they're flying a plane while they're building right now, by the way. It's one of it's the HEAL program that he's been big. That'll be up $100 million upfront funds coming to all the counties that were affected by the flood. $65 million for debris cleanup and $35 million for water, wastewater, and sewer damages in the counties. And that money is being pulled from the King Care Reserves, all that was a fund, and it benefits the health care of the state. So we were very blessed for him to be able to do that. But we're still working out the details for the counties to opt in, and what that looks like very broadly is it's a no interest loan. They upfront us the money, we pull from it, and then when we start receiving reimbursement from FEMA, we'll be a pass through and reimburse that money back to the state in the next 2 years for however long it takes, because they realize that, that FEMA reimbursement could take 18 months to 2 years, and that grind and sit and wait, because we still have to have a functioning county government with a normal day's business that we bankrupt us. So that's kind of how that will work. That's just the broad details. So like, larger details. Before I came over here, the FEMA director, and he's in the governor's cabinet. He has just basically told them to figure it out, put it together, and get the money to the county. So they're working all of that. We should have more details on opting in and getting the money to our county. Hopefully by the end of the week. So as soon as I get those, I'll share those with you, and you can share the budget meeting. I'll be on the Carolyn. But this was a definite blessing, because they've never upfront funds to be but normally counties have to take out funds and figure it out until you get your reimbursement back. A lot of counties have been devastated, so we were blessed to be walking on Spring Street in, Hampton, when I told him about this, and he took it hard, like,
There would you repeat the, so much for
65 million for debris cleanup, and 35 million for water, wastewater, and sewer. And we will see more come to the county. This was the biggest need and the health concern. But I know there's questions about roads and infrastructure and all those things. And they're working on those details out to get money into the county. So those also, this is the first tranche of money that's going to be pushed into, that'll be Carter, Claiborne, Kaufman, Granger, Green, Hamlin, Hawkins, Jefferson, Johnson, Sevier, Sullivan, and Floyd. Those are all the affected counties.
So we share that 100 million.
Yes. Yes, for those particular items.
So how will we know how much Carter's going to get?
They're deciding on their, so they'll work with me on those numbers as they're. Hopefully, we have some more preliminary numbers, so I can give them some and working on those right now. FEMA is already wanting those numbers to move within today. Normally, what happens is you're supposed to have the numbers of all your damages up front to see if push them to do a declaration. Well, we done the declaration, the government done the declaration of the disaster first, and then we got to get the numbers of all the thresholds were vested. It was obvious that the thresholds were already met. So now we're working on the numbers to get to FEMA, so they can decide on how to disperse the 65 and 35. We're trying to get it real quick so we can get everything quick. We can get on it. I think.
that's right.
Oh, please. The quicker the better for us to be able to get funds coming in here. So we've already worked on a good spreadsheet today. Sonia's got a very preliminary spreadsheet, so we're on it. That's kind of all.
Any questions for the mayor? Thank you, we appreciate it. Item number B under 9 is Anthony Lawrence IT contract. He's actually doing business as Joe River Tech. County attorney, we wrote this when it first came up, financial management, and passed out financial management unanimously. But you can find that on pages 15 through 13 through 17. And that contract, when is enforced, is $1,250 a month for 12 months, billed monthly. There are also some additional services authorized in advance for $135 an hour of networking service and $75 an hour of services. Yes, sir.
This is big year effort. We have approved those budgets. Does our present approved budget cover
Yes.
this contract?
Yeah, I budgeted for it.
Yeah.
We just had to get a current contract on it. We haven't really had one, so I requested that current contract to get on hold, but it's budgeted. Oh, it's budgeted for. Okay.
Mayor, can I ask, when the years that we activated for the emergency, how long was it until the engine got here to start setting up?
Sure, I'm feeling it.
Not so much in the EMC part, but for the county, for you all, where the
Yeah.
building was, without power, and for you all to be able to get access to your systems.
Maybe Monday.
So we, yeah, explain it.
Monday,
Yeah, because I came in the courthouse on Sunday, and I couldn't access anything, we had no internet, no system, no nothing, so I ended up going over to City Hall. And they were gracious enough to allow me to come over there and have a workspace on Sunday and part of the day on Monday, but then I came back over here Monday afternoon. Because we needed to start processing payroll on Tuesday.
I guess that's concern is like the code line down with contract with the right 24/7 coverage, 24 hours. I know you guys were completely without your system, the new payroll has been started and the biggest emergency there is.
But yeah. Yeah, we're gonna bring that to his attention, but it might be that we did not call him. I don't know. I can reach out to him.
Thank you. Just the one.
And he ended up, I think it was a, that might have been, he didn't have any.
Yeah, and that was part of it. And was that for me,
But actually, if I'm calling the situation, I think with, he's at the courthouse within an hour. Yeah, he really is on that. This might have been an outlier. It's a good communication. Yeah, sorry.
Questions? Comments? The floor is open for motion for approval of contract with him, Linda Lawrence.
So moved.
Mr. Stout makes the motion, any percent? Holden makes the second. Further discussion, questions? You're ready, Chad, so.
Julie Wynn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson,
Yes.
Danny Hill,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren, Todd Smith,
Yes.
Leslie Hughes, Jared Scout,
Yes.
Todd Raven.
I moved into 9C, an RFP for disaster related items. You'll find that entire RFP, pages 18 through 71 in your packet. It is a request for a proposal for debris removal firms to assist Carter County, Tennessee. Those items, the bids will be due on the 18th of October at 10. Questions are due October 15th. 2024 by 5 Eastern Standard Time. And respondents should know that most of the debris will be in the southwest area of the county, including Hampton, going out and
Should I be,
Elton, so I don't think it's legal.
place? Is that everything?
Yes, it should be.
Should be out, yes, correct.
I don't know if you will follow legals. So that should be Elton Mills, not legal.
We can put that in the addendum that comes out after the question and answers are over. We can make that.
Thank you.
That is,
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I think somebody probably needs to violate road or anything else.
Thank
It's on page 70.5. It's
The addendum number 1 said it's in
there's
there.
two RFPs. Debris removal and debris off.
Make sure that we have presented conference on in this contract, which is that. There's no,
There's no emergency declaration.
in contract, like we want, we under a emergency basis, eliminates the pre-bid cost.
It literally is under the emergency declaration, anything and everything, a procurement, appropriation, contracting, anything can be more done.
Since the attorney pointed out that there are two here, let's do the first one first, which is found on page 18, proceeds to page 46. And just to reiterate, it's a request for proposal for the debris removal firm to assist Carter County, Tennessee. And in this one, as we stated, questions are due by the 10th 10 a.m. Tuesday, October 15th. And bids will be open on the 18th at 10 a.m. Same areas impacted into Round Mountain Health Mills. So floor's open for that motion. Mr. Hughes makes the motion. Is there a second?
So,
Second by Commissioner Bee.
Do we need a motion? We've already had.
We've already looked at
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was for guys. It was like informational, yeah.
Well, with that in mind, you don't need to.
And you're the only city. Yeah.
All right, sorry what you've done. So let's move to, item D. Is Sheriff Medical Operations for Cody area. Sheriff Bradley, are you going to present this?
Now, I'll try to be brief. Most of you are aware of this, but up in the Elk Mills Posey area, all bridges have been destroyed. And right now, there are currently 2 ways that we can get to those communities. Both of them are about an hour additional in what we're dealing with. What our officers doing right now, they have to go to Camp Faith, get their vehicles, out of the vehicles, get in the side by side, drive around 321, and get up there to respond to a call. I don't want to jeopardize any safety issues up there for the community. There's a lot of things going on right now. Saturday, we went up there to try to dispel some problems. FEMA was up there trying to do a ground assessment. And we're about North Carolina came over in 4-wheelers and side by sides and direct single wheelers. And we calmed those fears down. But my main concern is if we get a call from even remotely close in the Hampton area, we have to add an additional hour to a response time. And in good faith, I keep moving. So with the help of the EMA office, we have put a building up there in what used to be the Elk Mills Fire Department. But what we would like to do, and somehow we're going to do this, we're going to assign 2 officers, 1 certified, 1 correctional officer, because I don't want to have an officer up there without backup. And we're going to assign them to 24-hour shifts up there around the clock, and they will take like the fire department schedule. We will also try to do about delivering medical supplies and work, but there's a lot going on up there. And I don't want to take up a whole lot of time, but in good faith, I have got to get some help up there for those people. Because the only other options are going into Avery County, North Carolina, looping around and coming in through Beach Mountain, down that way, or going way up into Johnson County to Arnold's Carlock, going up that way, back way, and you're adding additional power. And we're going to work with MOUs in case our officers do get in trouble. So Watauga County, North Carolina, and Johnson County will come in to back our officers up. But I just want to make you guys aware of what we're trying to do, because I can show you some pictures up there. But it's bad. All bridges are wiped out, and there's no feasible way to get up there in a hurry. And I don't even feel comfortable. We did something the other night that I wouldn't recommend. We tried to get my vehicle through there at 321, right there before you get over to the store. One lane is shaved off into the lane. And there's one very narrow lane, and when we're coming back out, it's starting to crack right there. The more trucks that try to get through there, it's going to break that foundation up, and we're going to have nothing up there, no. So with that being said, I just want to make you guys aware of what we're going to do. Hopefully very soon. We're still working out some final items on that. Just be aware of that. You know, we've got to do something. I'll take any questions, comments.
So just to allude on what you're saying, my concern has become 321. So we contacted TDOT, THB, probably not seven block, and I wouldn't say that I got into it, but I did lie into it a little bit because the barriers are being moved. We needed a concrete barrier. I went to 321 and 67. I thought I have a THB or somebody at it. More so restricting some of that movement going at 321. Unless you live out there or you're like a family there, you're going to the Little Milligan school or anything. The main thing is keeping that traffic on 321 because the integrity of that lane is slowly deteriorating.
Yeah,
We've got people with their side by sides parking on the side of the road and going up through there. So THP with the, they're there, and then they went to 321 and 67. So they're trying their best to slow that traffic down through there. And TDOT's aware of it, but they're so overwhelmed with the interstates and all these other roads, I don't think they're gonna get to 321, even though if we continuously really know what they're gonna be able to do to just get it sustained. Because it's just slowly falling off, so THP is doing, you've seen them up there, and they put the concrete barriers up.
there were 3 vehicles that got around THP, and I'm still trying to figure out
Yeah,
why.
that's what they're doing.
And all 3 of those, none of them lived over there. And one of them said he had payment over. I said, you can reach them by phone or internet or something right now. No, you're not going in.
And I THP, back that he came out of the city, and I said, we have to be really restricted. And it's not to be harmful to anyone, it's to protect the safety of having any more issues of someone falling off into that ravine, into the lake, and that fall. It's one of our, for anybody. I mean, you've got a lot of 18-wheelers that are coming, and it's, the drivers don't speak English. They don't recognize the sign. We're having a lot of problems with that because they don't know where they're at, they're getting up there and can't get turned around. So we put all the signage up, or try to detour it the best we can, but 321 is a concern, and it will be for a while. If we lose that access, there's no access at all. And so we're trying our best to keep as much traffic as possible on it.
I totally agree with what you're saying, because if you look at the way that the road lays, and the one lane that we have right now is starting to crack. And you can tell that it's starting to make me very uneasy, that if we lose that, we've lost every way getting in there in an emergency. And that's not the perfect plan right now, but the other options right now are to go around the way to get to those people they
And
need.
it, really down that eventually we may have to get decals or something to put in the residents' vehicles on that road. They've got to actually start showing that they are supposed to be on that road because we have to have access to the community. I mean, it's been a Herculean effort to get access right now to get those bridges in just to get them out. But if we lose access to get first responders and you're an hour and a half out, I mean, it's just so, it's a scary thought. So Todd, I know we'll stay close in touch with you all, but it may be that we have to do some kind of decal system for residents that have to show PHP that yeah, I live here, or my family members here. Because that road, I mean, the Fishers are coming further and further, they're across the yellow line, the Fishers are, that are breaking into it.
Well,
And there's nothing but a rock.
Yeah. There's nothing there, so that's 321's a serious concern, and then you've got cold weather coming, you've got snow coming. I don't even know if they're gonna be able to, get it stable enough for the weather coming. So we're really gonna have to get strict on that area, and I hope citizens understand that it's for safety concerns more than anything. Yeah.
How they got, if you got a state trooper at the intersection of 321-67, that's gonna stop some. But then you back out here, Fish Springs, go through Weathertown, come out on the whole side.
That's right.
Trooper, and leave free reign.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need to stop that, but I mean.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's definitely going on with Johnson County.
You're talking about them working on the road, in my opinion. I don't think you don't do anything to wake up.
I don't either, I think.
Because if they get that lake and the rivers over getting the bank.
Where they can get in there and do.
With the lake being that bank, anywhere they can do.
Right now, we just got to protect it.
another concern that the chief brought up the other day, that additional hour that we're talking about, we're gonna get into cold weather. Those back roads in Johnson County, I don't like driving them in the summertime, and it's gonna get slick. And, we gotta try to protect our equipment and most of all our officers. But we're in a crisis mode out there, trying to keep the safety of the citizens up there. And I've got, that's the plan that we've come up with. We're gonna go forward with it, hopefully sooner rather than later. But again, there's a lot of problems coming in up from North Carolina, and these, I don't use the word preppers, I don't know what the right word is, but coming in and threatening workers that are trying to work up there. We gotta have a police presence up there. And that's the only option I know right now.
Well, I mean, security today, and security issue because it's crossing jurisdictions, not just for Carter, it's Carter Johnson. It's Avery, with the two, Watauga County, those two counties are seeing the issue with this type of militia running around there. Security met with me this morning, and so that becomes totally their arena.
Yeah, the sheriff of Avery County contacted me Sunday, I think, I don't know what day it is right now. Saturday or Sunday, and he's having the same problem over there of these people that are going around, and I won't say they're pulling weapons, but they're heavily armed and telling anybody that's affiliated trying to help, whether it be the North Carolina version of TEMA or FEMA, to get out, things like that.
Sonia and her team were up there, they're assessing string damage. They ran into the same group, but they had to tell them, they're not defendants. So it's scaring people. That's not what we need for the citizens. They need to get registered. That area hasn't had an opportunity to get a lot of registration either. So that's why we're trying to focus with a mobile on their Thursday that'll be next to the police presence, the sheriff department presence, and we will have them there commitment to register citizens. So
The
hopefully,
people are great.
yes,
It's the outsiders.
it's the outside. When I got that phone call Saturday, I was like, this doesn't sound like Carter County citizens doing it. Something's wrong. It didn't seem right.
What is better? What is the theory behind it? That's what I want to know. I'm curious about that whole time. I was on the ground with them in Round Mountain for the door. And
You got people that are anti-gun, and I think
is that
it's
how
what
it is? Anti-gun?
it's right, that are trying to put fear, and they scared the people workers up there, and I was explaining to the people up there, these people are just trying to do their job. You may not want assistance, and that's fine, but just be polite and say, I'm not interested, but if you are, then here's what you need to do. And that's what we're trying to do, is just try to keep people calm up there. And the citizens they're great. It's the outsiders coming in that are that driving force that's making people uneasy. It made the Chaplains Association, they were terrified. They're up there trying to do something, and that group on four-wheelers and side-by-sides came down, so they put armed security up there with the International Chaplains Association, I think what it is. We've got to get around the clock protection if there's something like that.
There's a strong connection to these guys with Sovereign Citizen, how y'all.
Yes, so this is, yes, yep. Yes, that's it.
Just so that the committee knows, under this particular item, it says sheriff and medical operations proposing. Sheriff has agreed that at least once a week we'll have a physician on site. Person will be Dr. James Benham, who many of us already know. He's an ETSU faculty member, and he has volunteered his services to be there at least once a week when the sheriff and company decide to get this going. We'll also rotate up here Dr. Eddie Reynolds, ER physician. He's also our physician EMS, Carter County EMS. Dr. Brock Blankenship is also an ER physician at ETSU, runs our sim lab. So between the three of them, they're going to try to spend at least one day a week up there so that citizens, if they do want to talk to a physician.
And we're working on, we had over the second part of the not being another, there's confusion on the pad ready side, the pad that's there and it fit the mobile, so Caroline's clearing those hurdles for us now. We will have to put it on that. They just run their impression that it has to have a pad, we want to have the floor pad, this was we already have it to sit it on. So we should be able to get that in the next couple of days. So then we'll have we'll have law enforcement, we'll have a medical mobile, and then the team and the mobile will all be there. So we can all, this community will feel safe and kind of do a stop shop situation. They need to come there, register, and then do some medical. And we've got a lot of the medical stuff saved at the airport that'll go into that mobile for our supplies, alcohol, wipes, things like that.
Well, and Carolyn Chunk also told me over the weekend that her nurses are available, you know that.
Yeah. She said
We also spoke with the director of EMS, Sarah Arnold, about, he's gonna have a unit it was one of the rescue trucks that one of his employees didn't have over in the area. Then we spoke briefly about if he had some kind of stacking, not sure if they had anything really for that yet, but to have a transport unit that's kind of stationed up there if possible. Or someone there, like an EMT that could, do the basic kind of care while the transport unit comes in. So now that we have the idea for the substation to be there, then that might be an option that he's got stacking.
Yeah, there's been a lot of care and concern, because, I mean, we care about this particular community because they just been shut all resources. And this with the militia, that is just unbelievable that we're trying to get all the resources possible there. We've got a good plan, just getting everything in. I think it's good.
So your radio communications are up there. I know that we struggle with that area a lot. You all had some of the cash and tag radio.
Believe it or not, we worked off tag, it's worked great. Our IT guys have come up with an idea that they say can work, and I'm not the IT guy, I promise you. Most days, like, I don't know. So. With that being said, tagging is working great at this point. We're working on a tone where the officers up there are basically living the life of a fireman. If that tone goes off, then there's something in there. We're aware of it also, and if we need to start resources that way, or bring Watauga County, North Carolina, or Johnson County that way, they have agreed to do that. But once we get this set up, a tone will be set into our work fund. There's a call, they can get on the handheld. And we've been on our handhelds talking to 911, which is unheard of in that particular area.
There's definitely a need up there, just to relay something that happened a week ago yesterday. Chris Dykes, our chief in Hampton, was nice enough to let me ride along with him and kind of go through and touch base with everybody. And while we were trying to get from Elk Mills up to where Commissioner Clausen is, far behind us started blowing more. We thought they were going by, so Chris pulled up, and it turned out it was mother and father, his baby had gotten choked and stopped breathing. By the time they got the baby out, it started breathing. But I can't imagine what it'd be like to be a parent and not where you're going to go in a situation like that. And they were literally heading over this one time.
That's why I think, that at least that's a first call, and we can figure out the rest of the way, because it's a long, we can use them down that little sliver if we protect it a little better. With letting everybody on, if there's an emergency circumstance, they can go on. So that's important.
Any other questions? Thank you for all you're doing. Appreciate you and your staff. Okay, now a EMA request for additional personnel in UT.
Thank you, Dr. Reagan. So just to give you a heads up, I'm able to have a part-time employee for our emergency management office, just to help me with a year's worth of paperwork for FEMA. So there's going to be a mountain of paperwork that'll have to go into what we call a FEMA transport. So right now I'm the only one that has access to that, and it is a mission. I talked with Ms. Sonia today, so it is a mission to even get that access to the transport. So luckily I do have access, but I'm gonna have somebody else to have access to that. So I have to have a part-time employee. And what I'm requesting is a part-time employee, 30 hours a week with no benefits. And this will fall under category Z, where it all is 100% reimbursable. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about. I've kind of been working on some guidance for this person, and I have no idea who that I can hire, but we're rolling so good with Carter County. I want to go ahead and be ahead of the other counties on this and try to get somebody before the other 3 counties might have a chance to hire somebody. So that's what I wanted to bring up as far as hiring somebody to help me with all the paperwork. And I'll take any questions.
That's what you're gonna be 29 and a half hours.
29 and a half, okay.
Yeah.
What about that? Yeah, 29 and a half hours. With no benefits, and again, reimbursement, if I can try to find some.
And then just being for improvements.
For what?
It's just a temporary job.
Yeah, hopefully for, it'll probably be about a year, 6 months to a year. We're looking more forward to a year. And because, you know, we still have our other duties, and since our disaster, we've still been dispatched out twice on fires and wrecks, so we still have our other duties, so I'm gonna have some help, again, part-time help, just to help me with paperwork.
Special qualifications, person will have to have.
Disaster experience, of course, and it would be great to have somebody that's already certified in the Grange Port, clean Grange Port, which I don't know if I can find somebody or not, but that would be a big plus when it's on.
It will, and I can train.
We can lean on them to director, guidance on getting maybe suggesting someone. I mean, you could get someone that can come here that's, I mean, you want to get a local person, but if it's not, they may have to come here and live, stay with us for a little while till this. The thing is we're hiring people and getting all this extra. The biggest thing we need to look at is how people have to recoup this money. Because we have to recoup the money. We have to remember, even though the state's pushing it in here to us. When FEMA starts giving it back to us, we gotta give it back to the states. We gotta make sure we're getting the biggest bang for our buck. We start getting money back from FEMA. They're gonna look for everything they can to not give it to us. Every little loophole, every little document that we don't follow, they're gonna say you didn't follow that, you don't get this. So having Sonia and these extra people, I mean, it's gonna be money well spent, because if not, we're gonna end up in the hole. That's kind of the way we need to look at it. We have to have this extra personnel. There's just no way. And plus people have to do their normal duties.
That's where, yeah, that's our main concern, because like I said, we've already been dispatched out twice over this. After we worked 14 hours, we got dispatched out the other night at midnight on a house fire that we was on for 3 hours. So we're still got our other duties that we have to do, along with our emergency management performance grant paperwork that's due in 2 days that we haven't even finished that. So that's part of the 45,000 that we get every for FEMA. So we're still working on that with our other stuff. I just wanted to mention that, like I said, we are, you know, we're hearing it every day from the state, how good that we're doing up here. From people that's not even here, but we're hearing it from other agencies. What kind of pay are we looking at? Well, I talked to Miss Sonia, she said around $16 to $17 an hour to get somebody, because she's paying, roughly $15 an hour just for somebody that's going around helping her take pictures. So somebody with some experience, $16, $17 an hour off the top. So I presume you don't have this budget? No. No.
How are we gonna handle that? Since it would be reimbursable to the FEMA, but how are we gonna handle that?
We still have to put in, we still have it allocated in the budget.
Yeah.
But then, if it's reimbursable, it'll go in this list. So we'll keep up with it that way, still have to go into their budget, because that's what we have to pay out.
That's what we ask on.
So I presume this would come out of the.
I'm sure this is probably the first time we're gonna have to deal with a similar situation for some time to come.
So thank you all. Thanks. So I'm in motion to do that. That's where the funds are going to come from.
I'll make the motion to approve that position if you're doing that.
Yeah, I'll move. That if we do it for 52 weeks, give him the full latitude. I used to get upper end of 17 per hour. Check on that, check, $26,078. No benefits.
much you said of
And then again, just to make sure that it's road slide, keeps good over there.
$26,078.
Yeah, that's what I said. And I need a motion for that, designate account, journal rights to.
And then will there be a separate one for TV that hasn't been mentioned yet, but it's on our agenda?
I would imagine you can talk about.
I think that's why I was waiting. Okay,
So let's get this part out of the way and we'll chance.
I'll make that motion for 26,078. 2,071.
Not to exceed. 26,078. Not to exceed. Unsigned fund balance. Everybody clear? Mr. Hugh, made a motion, Mr. Stout, second. Other discussion, questions? This will be reimbursable. Okay. Chad, you're ready.
Yes.
Brad Johnson. Here. Danny Hill.
Yes.
Jennifer Holden.
Yes.
Todd Smith.
Yes.
Leslie Hughes.
Yes.
Gary Stout.
Yes.
Dr. Rico.
Ms. Shanahan, for 2 seconds.
Yes, sir. Thank you all. About the UTV, we initially started for this, major disaster event. This was a wish list item, something that I'd wanted since I've been here, but because of the disaster, we installed that the EMA department is going to have a UTV to be able to use, not only to access now some of these areas, as I've also spoken with Sonia about, because we have a lot of areas that are only limited to four-wheel drive ATV access. On top of that, during the initial response, we lost access to two of our computer sites that have communication due to fueling. Run Mountain was one of those, and White Rock Feeder, the other locations on Austin Mountain. We ended up, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, finance department, we rented a UTV temporarily for the Run Mountain Fire Department, who graciously volunteered to run fuel back and forth up the mountain. And I think it was a cost of right around $1,200 per month or something to that effect. But at $1,200 a month, for a sustained period of time, as well as trying to get these repeater sites up and running, the cost of damage done by the fallen trees and the washout, that's going to continue to add up. Again, while speaking to Ms. Sonia, that is a favorable recoverable item, it's a claimable item, I think she said under Part D. So if that ATV is approved and purchased, then that is a recoverable cost. The quotes that I've received, there is an option of, I think there's a lease option the sheriff's office was able to do. We're trying to see if we fall under that same option, but I'm not able to get that information through the phone calls of that. But if not, cost is approximately with trailer and everything, approximately $2,000. Maybe a little less. That was the two quotes that I received from Polaris and King. And that's for basic, that's not hot shot ride down the road, that's a basic to four-wheel drive, just enough to get us walking in. I'm not any questions for conversation.
So we're coming through under the EMA and Brown, but you mentioned the tower. So will this be a new shared with communications director?
Yes, it will be. He'll have the same access. Because Mark is in our office, I still kept him, it's not a my family. So Mark will have access to that as well as if we have, again, to have emergency dispatch, as we did already. One of our volunteer fire departments was able to run fuel down the mountain once a day to keep those repeater sites up, so we can keep communication on White Rock Tower. And of course, now after we go to Tackett, that might change, but right now it's a big if. So as of right now, with the VHS system that we have, that's going to be a need. But also the damages, so we'll have survey teams that are out. There's a lot of paperwork on EMA
or that the building is spoke with, that we're gonna have a lot of paperwork and stuff, that we're gonna have to spend, things in the areas that still, I'm glad, graciously, we just received new vehicles, but I'd like to keep those new vehicles intact because getting them to some of them areas is gonna be pretty tight, pretty rough.
How many UTVs we got in the other departments? And we got the sheriff's department.
Right now, we currently have the one that we were awarded by the Polaris Marine. We have another, but it's on its last legs. It's a early 2000. Might even be a 90s one. Yeah, that was somewhere. We got one good one, one that's getting ready to go.
It would not hurt to purchase a couple, this is a long road. If something, I'm just saying, if something goes sideways and somebody has to get up to somebody, there's no hurt for that.
As far as I know,
Especially with Elk Hills and Hokie area right now. I'm real concerned for that community and, so that's, it would be a wise purchase for the county to have it with the sheriff's department and EMA, like, access to those.
I believe he's correct. The racing squad does have two, however, they are completely on the equipment and backwards and everything.
that is correct. That is according to our Homeland Security Bureau, it's totally for that.
Mayor, also I'll point out, the one that we are using, if we have officers in Povia as we are planning on doing, if they call for assistance, the only way to get somebody in is we put two people on our old one that is an open cab and run them out there, and then you've only got two people. If, if it's 15 degrees outside, that's also going to be an extremely unpleasant ride in and out, because it is completely open. It's, yeah, if it's raining, you get soaked usually.
It was rather chilly Saturday night.
We're reimbursable under category B.
Yeah, category B, and you're still under emergency declaration, so you get emergency purchase. Reimbursed for this, anything that you have to purchase for your emergency protective measures, which is your fire, your police, your EMA, your 911, your EMT. EMS, I said it wrong. If I think DC is wrong, it's not right. Anything you have to purchase to sustain the safety and well-being of your citizens through those departments, I can get reimbursed. Absolutely. Yes, we have done it before with ATVs, vehicles, emergency ambulance situations, emergency fire trucks, emergency boats for rescue and things. Yes, all of those are reimbursable into this category.
James, the one you talked about, the four-seater.
Yes, sir. So, the one we looked at was a four-seater enclosed cab with the heater in it, because obviously we're in the winter time, but it would be self-enclosed and everything. And that, again, what I say basic package is actually in the middle of the road. The basic package is the open cab that Chief Johnson was describing. This is the next step up with horsepower and enclosed with the heater, and then also was replicated on the trailer and everything.
Is one available now, like locally that you can get?
Yes, East Tim ATV said that they have one. If they don't have it on the exact one we want, he can have it within 3 days.
Well, I'm not in favor of spending more than that, to be honest with you. That's what makes me, because it has so many loopholes. But I will tell you all that it was a game changer to get that one right now. I was there when they showed it. I was there on the letter that I had to go out every day and was able to get that power up and going. A couple of nights they had to go up there and they were in coveralls and fog, and so they got real cold up there. But it was a game changer as far as getting, because there was nothing else that was there.
I think most people know, if you didn't get to that tower with that gas, you lost all communications in the room.
What you even had.
No radio for EMS, police.
Yes, our rescue squad was sitting at the fire department the whole time,
They stayed there all day long because they could not get any kind of a signal out. Rescue squad even, what is that, 100 yards? Yeah. So it was a big deal. So I spending the money, but I didn't see a difference as soon as that side by side showed up.
Okay, what's your pleasure? I never think we can't afford to get caught with our pants down again if they're right back in the same situation, especially a white rod. If we have the opportunity to remove it, then I think we should remove it.
Madam Chair, what is the figure, what is the total for one? Or two? No, no, what is the price that we need?
How much is it? What's the price?
Oh, I'm sorry, he said figure, I thought he was talking about great. I'm sorry, the cost given me by still the ATV up here on, Highway 19, we went to them locally. He said that it was, right out, I want to say $17,100. Then $17,000, when I put that is without a trailer, we would have to add a cost of a trailer to that. Location.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, your emergency services, you are not out of the woods yet. These roads are gonna start stressing. These bridges are not 100% TDOT approved safe yet. We've got winter coming. You're not out of the woods. We've got sinkholes, road failures, everything.
And Shannon explained too, there can be no type of paving done because you're getting into the winter. So basically they're piecemealing these roads together. If something was to happen, ATVs are the only thing that access these communities. We have done such a wonderful job being proactive in this county and kind of getting ahead of the game on things. My opinion is that 2 of them need to be purchased, one for the EMA and one for the sheriff's department. So they can have both of the area in case something goes wrong. These roads and bridges are in bad shape. They have not been inspected by TDOT. They have not been approved yet by TDOT. We have got to make sure this is our only access road. The winter months are coming, the cold's coming. You're going to have freezing temperatures. You're going to have the vulnerability more so stressing the roads and the bridges. So, you know, I don't think it's the time to start scrambling again when stuff starts happening as it gets to the winter months. It's my opinion.
Like the Sheriff Franklin was talking about El Mills. I was up there yesterday and I know that several ATV riders that are up there running materials, they said they're starting to see road failures all out on the road. And that's just my little call. That's not by any traffic because we know the only traffic that's been up there is the locals get their supplies. So we know that they're going to start having other issues. Not to include the temporary bridge that was placed by the local residents at the disaster farm out in Colorado that was donated. You know, there's a weight limit. So getting bigger vehicles and everything over those certain areas over to Bob Tritt's location, that's be very tight.
And according to, and Shannon can verify this, I'm pretty certain, according to the TDOT worker yesterday, we all are kind of hoping you're going to see all this collapsed pavement with holes underneath that go, in our area with 10 feet underneath pavement. And from what I can understand, TDOT is only allowed to pave 1 mile. And then from that point, they have to contract out. Am I correct? That TDOT is only allowed to pave 1 mile road, and then they have to contract the rest out. That's what I was told yesterday from TDOT. Is that correct?
We're out in TDOT routes. I'm not sure on that.
So if only can contract out, we're looking quite at a time because we're not going into it.
90% what TDOT does is contracted out. They pay up a strip of painting. You know,
That's what they told me. It was 1 mile was all they were allowed. And then anything beyond that, they had to contract out. So we're sitting and looking at TDOT, hoping that they're going to fix some of these roads. It's probably not going to happen right away.
Well, it's not going to happen right away anyway. Commissioner Ely was here last week. He also, this is mainly on the interstates right now. Because you know, they've been ravaged. And so everybody, all these resources are stretched to the max right now. He also, this is the bridges. Broad Street Bridge is still closed down. We're going to have to dive in coming at Broad Street Bridge and go under and look at the vulnerability is getting impacted at the knee. And so they're going to have to look at we just don't know when that's gonna be and when that bridge is gonna go. Until a dive team actually goes in and looks at it. There's some serious damage in our county, and what we're doing right now is putting a Band-Aid on it. But we've got to be proactive to be able to respond to something happening to one of our citizens. That is more worth it right now. Yes, it's money we're spending, we will get reimbursed. But the safety of our citizens getting through the winter months is my concern, and I want to make sure we're able to respond with the proper resources that work.
I would almost want to add one more in there for EMS, because EMS going up there into, they're gonna have to transport by UTV to even get to it. So they have to have a patient. I'm pretty sure the ones that they have now is like open air because it's
They
on
do
right
have
lane
closed.
trails.
Yeah.
Those kind of rescues. And if they're transporting a patient to 10 degrees, now there's like, we have to be different because it's, you know.
They make that, make it closed ATV, and I will tell you, I have spoken to the Department of Health in North Carolina, and I also spoke to Nashville, because I was trying to be as proactive as good about this. There's no grants available right now, everything's on freeze because we don't know what this is from. Yet, that's, you know, not only us, but that's kind of national because of other locations, you know, you've got this disaster alone has affected Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and all into Florida. So right now, funds are very tight on grants. So I'm exhausting every measure that I can, not only just for EMA, but for EMS, fire service, law enforcement. I'm trying to go through everything and every resource that I have to try to keep from having to bring this for you all. And like I said, this started out wish list, but now we're trying to get ahead of the game because we don't want to wind up like some of the other locations that are struggling.
Did you give a price on the trailer, or did you say it was a number?
Price on the trailers, I don't know the exact price on that. That's why I'm still dirty in the field today, and I have not had a chance to get that.
We're going to have something to do it before we put a limit.
Yes, sir.
Not to exceed or the exact.
I'm thinking this, from what I've seen, I know in the last few months I've been looking for trailers to have the house. Because I got too much land and not enough back to carry stuff around. Probably in close to the ballpark, what you might say. Something carrying ATV with a decent trailer, a good on build, you're probably looking at $1,700.
That's why when I originally gave that price, 20 was to kind of add a buffer, and that was only to make sure, we had the tie down strap, the proper tie downs and everything, brands to be able to offload.
So you say for 2,000 per trailer, not to exceed. Did we use a figure as that?
About a rough guess, but I would say that would be sufficient.
We have a motion.
Not to exceed 20,000 total, but we can definitely be able to.
You have a motion.
No, you know.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion, please.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we authorize, EMA for the purchase of 2 UTVs at $17,100 and 2 trailers at 2,000 apiece, which is a total of $38,200. This is under category B for reimbursement later. And my concern is this should be funded through the unassigned fund balance. My question is, we're wiring that out. We did a secondary place where we go in, if we get close to the amount, where would it be?
So we'll reallocate money out of ARP funds, and then the first spot.
That's my money out of unassigned fund balance.
So the motion is to, and then the second. Motion is to purchase 2 UTVs at $17,100 each. And 2 trailers to all same at $2,000 each. For a total of $38,200 coming from assigned fund balance.
One question.
Yes, sir.
So one is for the sheriff's department, one for the Both of them would be like. Well, they said they had to do it once, so they said they had.
Yeah,
I thought we did it one.
that's what I was. Just because, and the sheriff closed, we won't get it anymore than 1,000. With heat.
Well, if you're wanting to get an enclosed cab with heat, you're gonna have to have at least $3,000, $3,500, because what you're talking about is a stripped down open cab, open air, maybe a windshield on it. But if you want a full enclosure for heat, and I would recommend that with our frigid temperatures, things, you might want to consider adding, what, $3,000 for an enclosed cab with heat.
Yes, and something that we found is when you start, I want an enclosure. You can't get the lowest end model with an enclosure. So you have to upgrade to another model to get an enclosure. I mean, they've learned a great lesson from car dealers, is what they've done. To get anything you want, you're going to pay for that upgrade.
And that includes doors also, because you have those mesh doors on the lower end. This is a truly enclosed cab to where you can actually keep your workers warm when it's 0 outside. That's just a suggestion I'm going out there.
And then I'm like, you said, maybe you were coming to that with an estimate from East Tennessee APP.
That was the estimate that I was, given from, I think, Carlson, was the 17,100.
You're sure there was clarification, you wanted a complete enclosure with a heater.
When I spoke with him, told him that this is what I wanted, and I was under the impression that that's what I got. I've not talked to him again since then. I'm supposed to meet with him today. I've been in the field, and then I've got redistributed that to Bristol to pick up some supplies for the county, and I did not make it back up there. And that's all me. I apologize about that.
Sure, I'm going to withdraw my motion because the uncertainty of the amount. Also recommend that when you do get an exact,
Yes,
they make sure to verify on it. You, the chair, has the power to call a special session of this budget committee, and we get it done because it is an emergency basis.
Susan, you don't have to.
Yes,
Thank you. And one for them or one for you guys, you already have tried. You use the haul it, or you don't need a trailer as well.
Right now, we're borrowing a trailer to get ours from point A to point B, so.
We're still on an emergency kind of thing. Is it possible to get that quote and consider it for commission next week?
I can help you with that right now. You can tell me that it's 30 grand and you can do a not to exceed and trust his judgment. This is a dire emergency. We don't have time to get paper. We don't have time to get quotes. We're well within the threshold of emergency purchases. Right, I'm sorry. Well, in the threshold of emergency purchases.
So from your perspective, as a reimbursement expert, if we can put this off for a month, wait to get paid for it, it's not really an emergency.
Correct.
Okay, so no approval with the,
Correct.
other than the finance director saying it's an emergency and time to go.
Correct.
So we say that way, under emergency. All she has to do is.
Correct.
Okay, so why did he hear before the vote?
Correct.
So. The next day, don't need, county. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Smith, I'm sorry.
And in order to get a maximum amount, we would say 23,000 feet with no more to exceed 46,000, be that amount. That would take into consideration if the numbers are way off. As Ms. Sonia said, this is something that needs to be taken care of.
But it's not over the air ride with the radio.
Right. Any speakers, you need to do what I need to do.
Yes, sir. The emergency status, the mayor has full authority without even having to come to the budget committee to authorize the purchase of, if she deems necessary, county, this, disaster. Is that not correct, Mr. Gates? That's a moot point.
Okay. And, that's off the table for this committee, and they'll make a decision. Okay, let's go to 9F, exempt employees, EMA, and mayor overtime, comp time. Who's going to speak to that? Mayor, you want me to? Okay. This was brought forth when I met with, Ms. Jacqueline in the payroll department. Myself and EMA Director Harold are covered under the exemption status that was approved through the committee several years ago. We're only allowed to obtain up to 80 hours of comp time after that, and that comp time is obviously, I guess, from what I've understood, written off. Last couple of weeks, we have far exceeded that 80-hour threshold. So it was brought to our attention also that it was, I believe, recovered along with covered up.
If they pass it now, we'll,
Correct.
they can make the call to make it retroactive. I can't get it reimbursed retroactive.
But that was the request made, and that was not only for myself and Mr. Harold, that was actually, when I spoke with Jacqueline, in the finance department and payroll, it was for the, any of the exempt that was involved in disaster response.
Because I'm actually also looking at Chen Bridget, Chair, you're looking at Schuler and Ms. Fasano. Just, that's one of the ones that come to mind off the bat, but there may be others. That's a big deal.
Is that going to open Pandora's box?
And ultimately, this request is because once we reach that 80 hours, and this is kind of also from a partial standpoint, once we reach that 80 hours, that exemption, then anything I work over that, or any of our employees work over that, you know, is basically no comp, right out, no comp. Which means that we're working for labor. So,
I can't get my hands around this because I work about 12, 14 hours a day. I want to help.
Well, then you can't volunteer for where they work for. Is that not correct? When you not work, you can't volunteer for where you work.
That's correct.
correct.
But under the federal law, I'm thinking, do you need to pray? Attorney that. They can have, we put a maximum amount of 80 hours. But if the employee is prevented from taking time off to eliminate a lower due to such as what we have here, they are they continue to gain, workers' comp under, but you're under an emergency clause. And it don't leave those that's involved. I don't know, being a returned federal, that's the way their system is structured. Through, Department of Labor. All they'll be is denied or prevented from taking off any time since they're at the limit. And this being an emergency, order, but can't get much better than exemption, so they just continue on.
Well, if it falls under the emergency order, we will consider it. That will be up to me. Is that not correct? She can authorize that they work overtime, comp time, whatever.
Well, that's covered in
Is that not her term? Yes.
Let me be clear exactly what you're asking. You're asking if the mayor has the right to change the pay policy in an emergency for each employee and per department. In your pay policy per department, for your sheriff, or your EMA, or your fire, whoever in that pay policy, does it specifically say 80 hours a month? Correct. So the mayor would not have permission to change the pay policy in a disaster. It has to come before a board, has to have approval, to change the pay policy. That's just the way I've always seen it work. I've not seen it work.
I mean, if you read it in the broadest way possible,
Correct.
necessary.
Correct.
Like I said, I've never seen back into it that she has to know what would be.
Right. And I'm looking at it as a reimbursable expense. So I'm just looking at recouping your costs. And I know if that's the only person that changes the pay policy midstream of a storm, I can't get that reimbursed. If it goes before a board and a committee and I have the minutes from that moment forward, your pay policy is changed and it's reimbursed. That's the way I've seen it work. I can't make it retroactive. If you decide to make it retroactive, that's a cost that will come to you that I cannot get reimbursed. But going forward, I can.
So they would have to be recommended here, back to coordination.
Correct. 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 To get it reimbursed.
And then the question would be, while we're looking at this topic itself, maybe a change now, can we not keep in mind too, if we put a time limit, we're under an emergency procedure, a disaster that we just not become standard for now on, can we go?
Yes, and I can help with that. We have the language that other cities and counties have adopted into their pay policy. When it is declared, when your mayor declares a state of emergency, that policy kicks in. That is the only time after.
Once I quit signing the declarations, that policy backs on.
Or if we are 5 years from now and another event happens and you say we have an emergency, that's when this policy kicks
I guess you could sit in it. Emergency, this is the policy.
in. Correct. And I have the verbiage I can send to y'all to read it.
What you can
As long as the governor has it in place.
So the governor is declaring already through November 10th. The mayor has authority to extend it 7 days at a time, at least doesn't go back to it.
And that's what I'm doing. Every 7 days I reinstate it until, as long as it's going, once it expires. Had a lot of cases, same situation as COVID, I had to do it every 7 days. Then, once the government expires, I reissue it.
floor is open for motion.
I make a motion that we take the recommendation of Ms. Sonia, change the pay policy to where it's effective under the state of emergency that the mayor has declared, to pay the overtime to these employees for the hours that they've worked, for how they've stayed. The 8 hours contract, they're already at that. They can't work anymore. If you guys make that the limit, and they can't work anymore than that, and your EMA office is basically going to like be done for until they work down back again and work that time. And then you have no contact with FEMA, you have no contact with FEMA. All the requests that we put into the National Guard, all paid through them. They're the only ones that. So.
Okay, so you want to restate.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Christina can write down in minutes exactly what we.
To retroactively pay them the overtime from the start of the emergency, the exempt employees.
I can't get it reimbursed. That's
Not reimbursable, but like, we're not going to pay it. But going forward, that we try to recoup from the time that this policy has been in place.
Do we want to set a limit?
Um,
Do we want to set a limit?
Or we have,
The declaration of emergency is done.
we did, no, we, let's say we can start, we're 83rd, pay them prior to, or it's called, that's model, this disaster, I don't know why we, that's what your motion says.
I can agree to that. I mean, they're already maxed out on it. Do you guys have any? Or
I can maybe watch what's going on at 104 hours.
somewhere there about this last week. And that was, I was already had 27 hours already before that.
But you know, red, big, or red for.
So roads are taking the overtime, comp time hour,
Either agents or the day, the incident, which was.
the 27th. Friday.
If you put that in the motion, I think that's, that would be the red for the one.
Governor's order and the mayor. And so.
And you're talking about additional accumulation of comp time, not fiscal payment of hours worked, correct?
Comp time up to the 80 hours, and then after that, pay overtime.
I don't think an exempt employee is eligible for that. No, I think that they're not under FSA and Fair Labor Standards Act, they're not eligible for that. That's included in their salaries. I mean, I have a printed copy right here, I think we have to do it. My problem with it, I'll be honest with you, it's not that not that y'all aren't worth it, because you are, but I can tell you what, since this whole thing started, I've been doing it for free. You've been doing it for free, you've been doing it for free, everybody that's been doing it's been doing it for free. Then get paid a dime. And I know y'all are salary. And the salary is staying and getting it done until the job is done.
That job is not gonna be done for 6 more months. or-
Guess what? My job ain't gonna be done. I'm still trying to work my job and still do my county. So that's my problem.
I understand where you're coming from, but on my other side, me coming from a professional, I'm employed by this county. Now, you all pay me to do this job. And multiple outlets. I understand volunteer, I've been a firefighter, been a volunteer firefighter for 28 years. My family knows, that duty comes, to work, I'm here, 24 hours a day, I don't care. I've not been home, I don't even see my family. And 3 weeks, other than go home, I'm gonna have to take a shower, lay down in bed, which has not even been with my wife. And then I get up the next morning and continue back into work just like that, it's another day. So I understand where you're coming from the volunteer aspect. All I'm asking for is a little bit of help on our side, because I have to, I have a family of 7 myself. And with our comp time cuts off at 80 hours. I can tell you myself or Director Harold or anybody else that's doing that exam, we will never be able to take that time off anytime as long as we're under the state of emergency. Because I can tell you that myself and Mr. Harold, that's why he asked for a part-time person, we are going to be overbooked and overtaxed. So we are going to be here working on this paperwork and getting this county into that state we love it, money coming in. So it's not that we're not here doing the job. I feel for anybody that has volunteered their time this week. But that's just my opinion, sorry.
Yes, I will step in and say, I have seen this in very lot of county meetings just like this. And I will tell you, as a volunteer, you cannot reach your governor, you cannot reach the National Guard, even if you are off duty. That phone line will not ring. It has to come from your office while you're on the clock. So it is vital that your office function, or we would not have any of the resources, it would not be set ahead of every county in Tennessee right now, had you all not done what you did. Whether you're paid, not volunteer, whatever. Either you're gonna have to have a 3rd or 4th EMA director to wrap around 24/7, or you're gonna be sitting in a real bad bind, because decisions have to be made on the bridges, the roads, the lives, the 911 helicopters. You have to have this person. So that's all I wanted to let you know. I have seen it happen in other counties in situations where this is especially for your critical employees, and that's what they are.
We ran into this problem earlier this week. Actually, it was directed by the mayor, when we both, myself and Director Harold was sick and sent home. Director Harold went home, actually ended up in the hospital and was still working for this hospital. But myself, I got sent home for 2 days. I was still working, and that was after full surgery, and spending time in the hospital myself, getting that IBM on. We were still on top of FEMA trying to get everything and every piece of equipment in here to do our job. So, I mean, I understand, again, from the volunteer standpoint, but, you know, at some point, we've got to have a balance.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, I have heard a second. To that is, so I assume that motion fails, someone make, please. Then we can take a break after we vote.
Let's see if I've got my head wrapped around this. So basically what we're looking at doing on a temporary basis, under declaration of emergency, we're looking at allowing them to accumulate more than 80 hours off. That's basically what's being taxed. Is that correct, Dan?
It was two options, either to accumulate over 80 hours, which of course we'll have to find time to be able to use that comp time. And the other option was, which was discussed, was a one-time payment for the overtime that has worked up until the point that payments, or I'm sorry, the payroll policy was changed. After that payroll policy is changed to whatever the declaration of the emergency is, that payroll policy will continue until the declaration of emergency is over, will fall under the FEMA reimbursement rules, and then after that, again, it goes back to the exemption of however the payroll policy was set. That was the two options that was presented to me, and that's why I'm up here, because that was the discussion that we had. I had discussed with the mayor, and he recommended this come before the committee.
I think we're all aware that this isn't something that's going to go away tomorrow. We're still going to need them, we're still going to need them putting in hours. As Julie said, we've all volunteered. Somebody orchestrated everything that comes through our location. Somebody told that dollar to be spent, where that truck to go, where that individual went. Somebody had to oversee that. And if it wasn't me, well, it was TMA. Do we want that? Would we want to go forward risking not having that guidance or being at a point in time where they have to take off, or we're left without that advisor here to be able to point who goes where? Are any of us willing to step up and do that if they do so?
Yes, ma'am, you might.
So what I was trying to get at earlier is not what the governor has declared so far, but I guess I'll direct this question to Ms. Farmer. How long, based on your experience, would you anticipate the state of emergency will last?
I don't want this state of emergency to end, and I've asked your mayor not to end this state of emergency until the people in Elk Mills can safely get in their car and get to school, get to a hospital, get vital needed care. I've asked her not to end this until we have that area where they can move in and out of their home, not on an ATV, to a transport, to an ambulance, and however. So
you're saying, please correct me if I'm wrong,
yes, ma'am.
that this emergency is going on for 2 years?
Yes, ma'am. If the governor will allow it.
So you mentioned a phone. So I want to know which phone gets us into the contacts at the higher levels that we need to get.
Yes, these two individuals have been trained on and they know the iOS proper channels on what trigger to pull to activate the next level through team up. They know how to handle a situation strategically. They know how to place people within their community. So I'm sorry if I made it sound like it was one phone call, that was one phone ringing at their desk. It is these two people that are only people that are trained to hold this job and manage your county from an incident command post of a devastating disaster. Because He's orchestrating your police, your fire, your volunteer fire, your EMS, your 911, team up, all the resources, the volunteer resources, your road department, every single department had to ask him where to go and what to do. And he had that laid out, had the proper training. Both of you did.
Yeah, we're the only ones that can ask permission for FEMA for the supplies. Every supply that's come in here, me and Shannon has put it in. That includes the backhoes, everything, all the water, all of it.
Every black commission,
Helicopter.
had to be requested.
We had to request permission every day.
Well,
That's not a true statement. I'm sorry, but I talked to, I don't know how many people in the National Guard, Lieutenant Colonel Wilson, I talked to captains. That Black Hawk operation, we did not get very much from the EOC. Okay? We did not get very much from the EMA department.
Every mission, hold it.
So we did get gas filled up, some in this room were up there. I mean, there was days we didn't get lunch. There was days we didn't get supper. You know, I made it known that we didn't. And so then, one day, somebody brought lunch and they said, well, somebody was complaining. Well, I certainly was, because I had 40 people up there in a hot hangar throwing generators around with no cold drinks, no food, no nothing. So we conducted those Black Hawk missions. At first, it was what you want to send them. We said it was supply chain route, and we said there was no MCCs. There was no MCCs until the last 2 or 3 days of mission.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
That's okay, but I'm just telling you, there was a lot of coordination. The lumber for Bob's Island didn't come from the EMA or the EOC. The lumber from Bob's Island came from us. They called and said, hey, we need lumber. We got raw boards on entry. We didn't go through all that. I called Carolyn. She paid the bill, Big John's closeout. So not everything went through that deal.
Thing was to initially get the Black Hawks here, somebody from the EMA or your mayor's office had to coordinate to ask for them to first show up.
yeah,
That's all I'm
saying.
saying.
It's like that, they don't just come here without request. We had a National Guard person there that you see every day, you know, they had to make sure to get the ones on the road, the ones, you know, the one after debris, the ones from Black Hawks, coordinating the salt teams, and helicopter for that, what she's saying is something on it too, like it has that original request.
Well, of course, I can't send it to Black Hawk, but I mean, you know, not everything went through the EOC. A lot of requests went through the EOC. I mean, a lot of things we just took it for ourselves and problems up there. I mean, it was just to take care of the need.
Mr. Rico, can I reply to that, please?
Okay.
Just quickly, please. So the EOC requests are placed. The EOC request, the NCC request was placed the very day that we requested those Black Hawks. Now, however you was working, that worked in there, or you did see that operation. And I'm not going to admit that was a perfect operation, but every wheel has a greasy spoke at some point. That man needs to be re-greased. Your mayor contacted her liaisons and who she needed to talk to after we requested the Black Hawks. Black Hawks was originally dispatched to Unicorn County because they had to keep track over at the hospital. When we got the word that those Black Hawks was coming, those had to be an NCC requested to get it here. Once they was here in the initially onset of the response, we did not have to, that was under an emergency activation. They did not have to track, manifest, or how much was going out or anything. In the last week alone, I can tell you, because we broke the team of record according to several operations people. I was on the phone with their boss every single day, asking me who was going to be on what flights, i.e. names, manifest, what materials was going out, and everything. You may not have known that I was on the phone with them, but I can tell you if you went to pull my phone records coming from the county, I was on the phone with an air boss from Nashville on every one of those requests, where they was going, how much material was taken, and I also had to track who was getting on the flights to make sure that it wasn't going to just be a joint flight or something. Again, with the food, I will address that. That was an issue, and that was addressed in the EOC. Any other request I have attempted to fulfill, and I'm getting 200 to 300 requests in an hour, it's hard for me to keep up with all of it, I'll be honest with you. That's why we have the IMT team here. That's an out-of-town team that comes in to assist us in managing that incident. Again, that's an out-of-town team that we don't see every day. We try our best to account for everything. Now, while the materials that you referenced, coming from Bob's Island was not tagged, there was some confusion about that, and we had that discussion earlier today in the finance department. We was under the impression that those materials in DOC, when we talked about that in DOC, those materials was donated by the company that donated the bridge. And you yourself went down there with the National Guard to Lowe's, and when we made that contact,
Let me interrupt you for a second. Talking about the first load. The second load was.
Then I'll stand corrected on that. But at that no time was that ever communicated back to us. I can tell you myself, that IMT team, they have seen that, but that is an IMT team that is here to help us manage that incident. From your EOC standpoint in your county, I can tell you personally that I put in well over probably 600-700 requests for materials. According to, like I said, when I spoke to the FEMA representative that was here, Mr. Jackson, that just left, he said that we officially owe our county the most requests ever for materials. Try to be proactive and keep it. Again, I can't tell you and promise you that everything that happened. We're still dealing with this today, the field situations, but those requests was attended. But I just wanted to let you know that those request was not overlooked. It was not an on-purpose thing. There's a lot of wheels that go into motion, and trying to keep all the wheels going, it's very hard. But I can tell you that at some point in time, a request had to be made because TEMA is tracking everything that we've done, because they're also keeping track of the FEMA paperwork and everything, because they have to report why we had National Guard assets here, because that's tracked not only through the National Guard, but those are U.S. Army assets that are given to the National Guard. So all that has to be tracked, and that's why we file.
But I think that's enough on that discussion.
If another more than these two here that we got to consider, I mean, we're talking about government for things on PLC and all that.
Yeah, everyone that is, exempt falls under that category. Shannon, did you work, did y'all actually go to the gas here in this, these last two? Shannon, were you out during that time? Sheriff, I know you all were.
Carolyn, how long were you in the EOC?
Yes, it's exactly yesterday's first time I didn't call. All I did was check emails, but that's what we're doing.
Tina was down there, right?
I'm not.
Yes. Yes, sir.
I was given an answer, and people handed it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. You didn't tell the fact.
Thank you. So, I was going to say that my point about the phone is, I'm used to working all the time everywhere. If I can carry the phone with and go to my home or go to a restaurant and make a call or take a call, I don't count that as work, and I don't expect to get paid for that. So if carrying a phone and being available to take and make calls is what we're referring to, then I want to make a point about that. Next, I do want to say that if there's two people, are we at the point now still where both of you have to work lots and lots of overtime? I'm asking that rhetorically, I will want to correct answer. But are we still at that point where both have to be there regular hours plus overtime? I was at the DOC on 2 days every time I do. The first day was the Sunday after the flood. On that Sunday, I was approached by several town people in the DOC. He came to me kind of practically And I don't know any of their names, just a few people, in my time I spent there. But he came to me and said, "Can you do something?" "Yes, sir. I need you to get water. We don't have any water. Can you get me some water?" He came to me in that, and he's supposed to be one of these guys, say, up here, of me, in his capability to reach out to others and get that kind of help. He put that on me. So I'm standing down there in EOC, nothing but my contacts myself, and begging people for water. You know, and I called everybody from, you know, friends up to large corporations, begging them for water. And some of them never called me back, but we got water from those that did. So forgive me if I'm a little disappointed in the efficiency of that group at that time. And, you know, I've helped with fuel also, I helped with food also. There was a lot of coordination that went on amongst divisions that I'm aware of. Yes, sir. I do not what you're taking that up. I do not.
I'm not saying anything towards that name, and I would be happy to discuss this with you, if you would like. There's more to the situation than I always.
And you relinquish it, you have before.
I don't, you know, I don't want people working for free. I don't want people to feel abused or be abused. That's the last thing I would ever want. But during these past 2 weeks, most people have made movements out of passion, compassion, love, generosity. So I think the point is being made that, you know, maybe we can look at something going forward, but if anybody wants to claim that they need more money for what's going on in the past 2 weeks, then I question where the heart is. Because so many people have given so many hours, so many thousands of dollars. And you're talking to a group of people who made peanuts for what we did for this county. Literally peanuts. So I would just ask for those thoughts to be considered as we need this extension. I don't know, support.
Thank you. Still need a motion. Or do you want to take a break? We give you a motion. I know we've been sitting here almost 2 hours.
Thank you, Rick. That might work. Hopefully that works.
Okay, let's take it. Let's take it.
Don't you smile. Get it, won't have a smile. So now we got black ones, little red ones, little black ones, little green ones. Oh, no, they don't feel scary. Oh.